Let's focus now on Eskom. And the question this evening was the employees paid almost 130 million rand in production bonuses. So the utilities debt, we know, is sitting at just under 400 billion rand. We got that news just a week or so ago. And while they have made some progress in paying off that astronomical debt, there are still many hills to climb in getting the debt out of the way. Spokesperson Sikonathi Mantshantsha joins us now. Sikonathi, thanks very much for your time. Talk to me about these production bonuses. What are they exactly?
These were launched last year in May to all staff at plant level. These would be at the depots and at the power stations. To people directly linked to the performance of these facilities. There were predetermined targets, KPIs, which had to be met, all of them by individual power stations or the transmission depots or distribution. And only when all of those have been met would a production bonus be paid to people directly linked to these. And the KPIs included, amongst others, improvement in operational safety, improvements in the performance of the power stations, including no breakdowns, and also improvement in financial management. If all of those were met, everybody that has contributed to that at that power station or at that depot would be paid a maximum 1,500 rands per month.
And has it worked to actually keep these power stations going? Because obviously we focus mostly on Eskom when we hear about load shedding and utilities units breaking down. Is this working as an incentive?
That is absolutely working. I need to repeat again that nobody at head office or any other office who is not directly linked to production was eligible to this. About 7,000 employees did get the bonuses throughout the period and lost time injury. So is it working? Yes, amongst others, lost time injury rate reduced to 0.22 from 0.3. There was quite an improvement there. And again, let's repeat, in the financial management of the power stations, in the operational management of the individual power stations, each team member whose team in that particular period achieved all the KPIs, irrespective of their seniority, would get a maximum 1,500 rands bonus per month.
You know, compared to the 400 billion rand debt that Eskom is still facing, despite having paid some of it off in the past financial year, some people would say, well, there shouldn't be any bonuses of any kind at all. And this is just the reality facing a cash-strapped utility.
That's absolutely correct. That sentiment is totally understandable. What we need the people to understand is that these are self-funding bonuses. In other words, the savings themselves would come out of these particular assets from those employees by improving the way they work, their response time, and making sure that they minimize breakdowns to the absolute level. Now, of course, members of the public who do at times have to be subjected to load shedding and other problems, the sentiment is totally understandable. But you need to change the culture, you need to improve the morale of the organization. And that is what happens at the lowest of level, at the power stations, at production level. That's how you change the culture of the organization. And this is an ongoing interventions, which, of course, will be reviewed annually. I do want, again, to point out that these savings, this 129 million rands that was paid out to about 7,000 employees, were self-funding. It was savings that were achieved from the performance of the power stations. And I must also add, Sally, that about 21,000 people do qualify for this kind of bonus, but only 7,000 actually did make the achievements and therefore were eligible to receive the funds.
I want to read to you a comment from Ted Blom. He's saying that the announcement by Eskom recently that 82 billion rand in debt was successfully paid off is misleading. He said, actually, you only paid 65 billion. The balance is an accounting adjustment due to the stronger rand against the dollar. As the rand is weakening again, you may have to revise that number back to its previous level. What's your comment?
Sally, it is absolutely understandable that some experts do not have too much respect for facts. The reality of the matter is absolutely, and Eskom has communicated this repeatedly, that the strengthening rand over that period contributed to the payment of the debt. Indeed, the taxpayer, through the bailout that have been forwarded by the government to Eskom, contributed to the reduction in the debt. The figure of 81 billion rand is what has been paid down in the capital and in the interests. What has so of course, when the rand weakens going forward, doesn't change what has already been paid out. I do not understand that kind of thinking. Certainly, journalists need to look at it themselves. If you've paid money out of your account and it's been received by the recipient, what happens to the currency exchange does not affect what has already been settled. It affects current outstanding debt and the payments going forward. Certainly, Eskom has been quite vocal in saying the strengthening rand against the dollar in that period did contribute.
All right. I want to get a comment, if you're interested in making one at all, in fact, and it relates to Eskom former CEO Matsela Koko. He's just had quite a blow in court. He took, and this is according to an article from Ground Up and Daily Maverick, he took a 72-year-old school principal to court for a tweet. And he was trying to sue her for R500,000 rand in damages for the tweet that she wrote. And this woman's lawyer said that Koko's legal action amounted to nothing more than a slap suit. A slap suit, of course, is the strategic lawsuit against public participation, where you try and put someone off from saying something in public by just throwing huge amounts of money and threatening to sue them. So Koko lost that, and it's been dismissed with costs to him. What is your response to that, if any?
Sally, I am here to discuss Eskom's business, not Matsela Koko's business. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Eskom spokesperson Sikonathi Mantshantsha.